I found some of the world's weirdest and rarest fragrances to ever exist.
Nice.
Including the perfect fragrance to leave your house smelling bright and clean, a fragrance that can moisturize and lubricate anything it touches, and I had the final fragrance shipped in for over 7,000 miles away. But I'm starting with the limited edition fragrance that's, and I quote, the finest fragrance on earth. The Boring Company launched Burnt Hair up for sale back in 2022, and let me tell you, it literally set the internet on fire because bottles of burnt hair were up for sale on eBay for over $100,000. But was it worth it? I think the short answer to that is no, because no fragrance is worth $100,000, at least in my personal opinion. But let's see what it smells like. Oh my, woo. It smells like burnt hair. Oh my goodness. Why would, okay, so when I think of fragrances like this, I think of Margiela fragrances that are replicating points in time and, oh, it's in my throat. Pause. Pause. This one here does smell like someone had their hair set on fire. It's dark, it's pungent, and it's in your face. And traditionally when we talk about fragrances like that, this is more that bad boy-esque fragrance that you can wear and get away with, but I don't think that's the case with this one. In fact, when I think of things the Boring Company has created, like the Tesla tunnels or the flamethrowers, I think that this one stands out just as much because there's nothing boring about this scent. Now, after that initial shock of this fragrance smelling like burnt hair, it almost has a tobacco feel and like a coffee-esque feel as well. Not a fragrance that I will be wearing in weekly fragrance rotations, but I digress. All right, I'm gonna be rating each fragrance up to 5 stars. 1 star being pretty normal, like an everyday fragrance, and 5 stars being it's pretty rare, unique, and most importantly, weird. All right, so the initial run of burnt hair was limited to just 10,000 bottles, so I wouldn't say it's exactly abundant. In my opinion, this fragrance is exactly as described and not one you're gonna run to wear for that perfect date night. I mean, I guess I could say that the bottle is almost shaped like a flame, but they do have kind of the range to be a little bit more wacky. They could have colored this bottle in a flame style to give it that more weird approach. However, I don't think wacky is exactly what the Boring Company was going for, so this one gets a 4 out of 5 stars. Now that was just one of the weird fragrances in today's video, and they only get weirder. On to the next fragrance, and it doesn't get much cleaner than this. This fragrance is Smells Like Fabuloso, and this one takes inspiration from the Fabuloso household cleaner. I picked Smells Like Fabuloso up from Mischief, the company that's brought us plenty of wacky items, including the big red boots, the 2x4 boots, and of course, we're talking about Fabuloso. Smells Like Fabuloso is described by Mischief as bold, unconventional, and guaranteed to turn heads. Well, I guess that would make sense if you're walking around smelling like a cleaner. So let's see what this fragrance is all about. That's a nice powerful stream that they got going on here. Okay. This thing is clean. Oh my goodness. This smells like a freshly cleaned bathroom and or kitchen. This fragrance smells like your mom's Sunday morning cleaning when she was in that mood. Like an angry mood. Man, smells like I'm in a janitor's office. This fragrance smells exactly like that household cleaner, to the point that I need to open this up and see if they just placed the cleaner in here. All right. So they did not do that. I thought maybe they just put the Fabuloso in here, but the fragrance isn't that purple that we would experience from Fabuloso because the bottle is clear, the scent is purple. This one's a clear bottle as well as a clear scent, so they didn't cheat us that way. All in, man, they did a wonderful job in making it smell exactly as described. Like, I feel like I would be comfortable washing up in this place or eating from wherever this is. Yeah, not bad. And that's weird to say that Smells Like Fabuloso isn't bad, because it's not one that I would actively decide to wear. But if you're looking for things in your collection to say that, hey, I got some things that are wonky and weird, then this is one of those fragrances you could do just that with. But let's get down to the score. See, Smells Like Fabuloso has sold out and restocked on multiple occasions, so I'm not quite sure how many bottles are out there on the market and if it's super rare, because you can still pick it up from Mischief today. That said, this smells very similar to a real bottle of Fabuloso household cleaner. So I'm gonna say all in, this one gets a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Probably would have been a 5 out of 5 stars if the bottle was shaped and presented just like Smells Like Fabuloso. They could have done like a partnership and put the logo or something on here to take it to that next level. The next fragrance also comes from Mischief, and this one has the power to lubricate and moisturize anything it touches. This fragrance smells like WD-40, and as you might expect, this one is supposed to smell like WD-40. Similar to what we experienced on Smells Like Fabuloso, Smells Like WD-40 comes in a very similar bottle and presentation. You get the blue overall bottle, you also get that red hint at the top, and then you get those yellow accents of Mischief and Smells Like WD-40. But let's see if this one really smells like WD-40. Woo! Man, this smells like I just lubricated my entire door. The force is strong in this one, and they did a good job at making it smell extremely realistic. Now I'm gonna pull this one out to see. I haven't sprayed any WD-40 in itself to determine what it looks like. The ones I have are like foam. You spray it, it turns into foam, and you wipe. Right? But I don't think they will put WD-40 in a bottle and sell it to us. That would be irresponsible. Smells Like WD-40 is not your typical run-of-the-mill fragrance. This is an artistic approach to fragrance, very similar to what we saw in Smells Like Fabuloso. Like the previous fragrance, Smells Like WD-40 is supposed to be bold, unconventional, and guaranteed to turn heads, but I'm not sure you would turn as many heads with this one, depending on how you're dressed. Hear me out. Growing up, my dad was a mechanic, and he would often come home smelling like various things, often things listed around the shop, like oil, lubricants, this being one of them, and maybe some fried chicken from time to time. But at any rate, if you were dressed like a mechanic, or you look like you might have been in a woodworking shop or maybe a builder, then this scent might not be too far off of how you might smell from working in the environment anyway. But then again, that's not what this video is about. It's how closely, how weird is this fragrance, and I must admit, it's pretty weird. So again, Mischief is on a roll, and they'll get a 4.5 stars out of 5. So let's take a pause for today's video sponsors, my friends over at Max Aroma. With Max Aroma, it's not just about the savings, it's about the experience. Their 100% customer satisfaction guarantee ensures that you will have a stress-free shopping experience. And to me, that's super important, especially when you're ordering fragrances online. Speaking of which, while shopping this site, you have the opportunity to shop from classics, new fragrances, or those niche, hard to find fragrances as well. So go ahead, click the button, and unleash your inner confidence this summer with the power of fragrance. As you elevate your fragrance collection, build up your stars and points for those extra additional savings, and sign up to be a part of the Aroma Club for early access to extra steals and deals. Again, head over to maxaroma.com to elevate your fragrance game. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming. This next fragrance I have flown in for over 7,000 miles away because the fragrance came in from Japan. Originally released as an April Fool's prank, this one took some real coin to pick up. At launch, this fragrance released for $42, but I paid $275 for it after some negotiation. And that fragrance comes from the house of Burger King? Listen, this fragrance was $375 originally, and I talked the guy down to $275, which made me think if I offered him $100, if he would have taken it. But I did it all for you. The fragrance is called No Whopper, No Life, Flamed Grill. Now, it's gonna be interesting. I haven't touched anything from Burger King in 11 years, so this will be the first. As you might imagine, Burger King's fragrance should be the pure essence of Burger King. Think flame grilled, think Whopper, think meat. Let's get down to it and see what this one is all about. Now already, I'll tell you that I think they could have been a bit more creative in the presentation, but it looks, oh my, whoa. Ugh. Oh my goodness. This is terrible. Man, I'm not sure what they were looking to do with this, but this fragrance is horrible. I feel like I'm about to throw up. Man, this fragrance has so many elements to it that are just bad. Like, I can feel it just jumping off the paper, which means it's strong, but man, this fragrance is horrendous. When I was determining if I was gonna pick this fragrance up, I was able to come across a few articles, and one caught me by surprise. It said that there are no words in the English language to describe how bad this fragrance is, and I thought that was a stretch, but I think they're right. There are so many other things I would say that Burger King's fragrance is closer to than their actual burgers. When I remember going to Burger King, I would smell their flame grilled and you were like, oh, it smells amazing. It's something I want to eat, but no, not this. There's a hint of like lighter fluid within the background here. It smells like rotten meat and just so much that you would never, ever want to smell like this. The fact that this fragrance even launched at $49 is absurd to me because as a gag, this should have been like $4.99. This fragrance is horrific, but let's get down to the rating system. This fragrance was only released in Japan and they were released in limited quantities, so this one is for sure a rare fragrance, part of the reason why I spend so much money on it. Next, when I look at the overall presentation for this, it could have been so much better. They had an opportunity to get wonky and wacky with this, to make it look like a hamburger, put the box to be a hamburger, or at least the Burger King wrapper, but the closest thing to get to Burger King is the name on the bottle as well as on the box. So I gotta take a few points away for that. And then when it comes to the scent profile, this is by far the strangest and weirdest fragrance I have ever smelled, but it doesn't smell exactly like a Whopper. So therefore, I'm gonna give this one a 4 out of 5 stars. This one's incredibly rare. This one's incredibly unique, but it still does miss a higher gear when it comes to really giving that overall essence of what Burger King is known for. If you enjoyed this video, then click here to see what happened when I purchased fragrances from Coca-Cola, Cheetos, and KFC.